Hello, hello. Please sit down. Khandro-la is coming. Please sit down. Take off my...
The volunteers sitting
There,
there.
yes. But not you.
I know my friend.
Okay. There or on the chairs there. Okay, please, can you just sit down quickly and stop talking for a second? Because I have to do some announcement, something. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, so welcome everybody. I mean, it's amazing. When I invited Khandro-la in Nepal last December, she said, I promise I will come because she doesn't like to travel too much and she's very busy there. She's building an hermitage there. But anyway, I couldn't imagine that all these people would be coming. So I thank you sincerely for this. And there will be many more people coming on Monday for the initiation. Okay, so what I wanted to do, you all know more or less, oh, she's coming now. And because of you, I delayed my talk, but I want to say anyway, doesn't matter. Let me, yeah, please stand up. Our sublime Khandro-la is coming. Hey, how are you, Sultan? Rashid, yeah, you tell Then I do mandate, okay? Okay. Yeah, yeah, put yourself. Yeah. You are all set up? Yep. Just the mic, I think is okay. Can you turn it on again? So I'm doing some introduction now. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it will be here. Okay. So what I wanted to do, I mean, you all know Khandro-la, you went online to see, but she wrote a autobiography in Tibetan verses, okay, translated in English. The verses, they go like da 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 da. Of course, in English, we could not rendering this, but I want to read it because it's amazing, okay? So this is what she wrote just very recently. Essence that embodies the three refuges, kind root lama, crown ornament never apart from the top of my head, bestow blessings of all that is wished for. Welcomed by these auspicious, pleasing words, now I will share the substance. I am Khandro-la Kunga Bhuma. My ethnicity is Tibetan. My birthplace is a gathering of farmers and nomads. From age 7, I sought to understand the causality of nomadic farmers. Although I found joy in the meaning of interdependence and isolated retreats, my parents' village was lacking education for me. When looking at outer objects and the mind inside, some marvelous bliss, clarity, and non-thought directly arose. Various experience and realization dawned unimpeded in my mind. Principle of all divine protectresses of the victorious one teachings, glorious queen, Palden Lama Maxor, I saw her joyful face. She said, you must go to unfamiliar places at uncertain times. I receive a promise to grant me prophecies and to continuously take me under her care. From then on, conceptual fixations collapsed. In unpredictable ways, I visited the sacred sites and the Jawa shrine in Lhasa. I then went to the great monastic seat of Tashilhunpo. Due to poor subsistence and clothing, I suffered all sorts of struggles. While on the pilgrimage path, I met an old hermit sage. He said, in order to revive the fifth Dalai Lama 25 Eden teachings, I must go to the noble land of India and meet the most exalted Dalai Lama. In that way, he bestowed many prophecies and gave me provision and money for the journey. On the journey at Mount Kailash and other places, within the blissful expanse of illusory relative appearances, I encountered some spiritual guide, such as Jingme Lingpa. They granted me introduction to the heart essence of the great perfection. Thus, my being was blessed through karma, aspiration, and interdependence. I received the pith instruction for the liberating unfavorable negative circumstances. Sorry. I have to open up. As prophesied by deities and lamas through hardship and trials, in 1994, I arrived in Swayambhu, Nepal. Sickened by contaminated food, I was afflicted by unbearable suffering. In that state, pure vision and various other apparent phenomena appeared as perceptions. Barely surviving, I made it to Dharamsala in the noble land of India. How I was received at Nelen by some heartless staff. Nelen is a Tibetan refugee reception place in Dharamsala, okay? While being denied an audience with His Holiness, a lot of time was lost. Receiving mistreatment and scorn, this illusory body was filled with illness. At time when I was slightly better by the power of various prophecies and deities and lamas, and help given by some spiritual friends, I got the good fortune, the opportunity to meet the Dalai Lama. For many years, a deity had sometimes taken me over. I didn't know who it was, and I didn't know what to do about it. At the end of meeting the great Vajradhara, the victorious Dalai Lama, the protector Tseringma and Tenma entering me. I was then authorized and enthroned as the official government oracle of Tseringma and Tenma. I received uncommon, profound pith instruction from His Holiness on Lama, Yidam, Khandro, and protectors. His Holiness proclaimed I have a special karmic connection with the secret hidden pure vision of the fifth Dalai Lama, and he authorized me as the doctrine holder of those teachings. The Dalai Lama said I am a self-occurring yogini and gave me empowerment, transmission, and pith instructions. For 10 years, I exerted myself earnestly in meditating on approach and accomplishment on what I received from him. For more than 20 years, I received teaching from the King of Victorious Ones, Vajradhara Dalai Lama, and empowerment, transmissions, and pith instruction on the great scriptures and so forth, directly from various great masters of all Tibetan lineages. I applied myself for a long time in listening, contemplation, meditation, accomplishment, and the activities. Realizing emptiness, compassion naturally drawn, and I arrived at faith. May the undeceiving ocean of the three roots grant auspiciousness. Thank you so much.
Lama Dumba Chomden de Dejin Sheba Da Jomba Yanda Ba Zobe San Reba Dan Shazu Demba Dewa Sheba Jiten Gamba Kibu Due Kalo Yub Lana Meba Lada Menange Tumba Sange Chomden Bagawa Shagya Tuba Chasalo Chudo Jie Lama Dumba Chomden de Dejin Sheba Da Jomba Yanda Ba Zobe Sanje Reba Dan Shazu Demba Dewa Sheba Jiten Gamba Kibu Due Kalo Yub Lana Meba Lada Menange Dumba Sange Chomden de Bagawa Shagya Tuba Chasalo Chudo Jie Lama Dumba Chomden de Dejin Sheba Da Jomba Yanda Ba Zobe Sanje Reba Dan Shazu Demba Dewa Sheba Jiten Gamba Kibu Due Kalo Yub Lana Meba Lada Menange Dumba Sange Chomden de Bagawa Shagya Tuba Chaksalo Chudo Gyasu Chie Kanze Kanye So Kyotan Se Sajen de la Komba Tumbun Ngane Jiten Dina Choje Sun Deshe Kepa Kyo Cha Tselo Namda Kunga Chotu Susanwa Ishi Gyatso Seki Lumbuna Tapa Jiten Sumna Lamewa Gombo Chonyi Gyola Cha Selo Sencho Temba Time Traveja Seto Trava Gyola Cha Selo Tute Kyota Sipa Sumaj Nyame Genjin Gyola Cha Selo Kumbu Tuji Chitemba Tamji Gembe Dumba Po Sena Yundin Gatsoji Dejin Shala Cha Zalo Dabe Deja Dewa Gyu Gewe Ngenzon Le Dejin Jitu Dundan Chogyoba Shigyo Jola Cha Zalo Dene Dewe Lamyande Laba Dala Rabdu Jigi Tamba Yundi Yendun Laya Cha Zalo Deba Jia Mijaji Gawa Buzun Sobaji Rangi Semni Yonzu Dine Zange Tambai Kama Rabri Mamedan Gyuma Silva Chubuda Mila Lodan Tindabu Tuji Chunan Dida Sanandi Tanji Zavaye Koba Tone Gyungi Tatut Kadanadan Jive La Trupe Sibe Soledro Drawa Shuo Baba Kunjo Zuna Cha Sela Dige Tage Daba Tuje Na Chomden De Kyabu Jaga Bumbo Rela Gelongi Kinde Chembo Dan Chanju Zembe Kinde Chembo Dan Tachi Tuju Te Tse Chomden De Zamu Nawa Shisha Chöge Namrangi Tinge Yamba Juzu Yan De Tse Chanju Samba Samba Chembo Baba Chenre Zi Wanju Sheragi Paru Chemba Zamu Juba Dajin Bumbo Nabo Teda Laya Rajingi Tomba Namba Tao Tene Sangegi Tu Zedan Demba Sharibu Chanjo Samba Samba Jambo Baba Chene Si Wanchula Dike Jeme Rigebo Kala La Shera Ge Paru Tu Chimba Zamu Jibaju Deba De Jida Labada Deke Jin Meba Da Janju Samba Samba Jimbo Baba Chinri Se Wanchu Ki Sedan Dem Shari Tate Pula Deke Jin Meso Shari Po Rike Puam Rike Pumu Kanala Sheraki Baba Jim Sama Jeba Jeba Deba De Deda Namba Dawa Jati Pumbo Ngabo Deda Gyan Ranjingi Tomba Namba Yanda Ba Jesuda Zudon Bao Tombani Zuzo Zule Tombani Shemayin Tombani Lega Zuje Mayin Tejin do Soba Dan Duje Dan Duje Dan Namba Jeba Na Tomba Share Bu Deda Che Tamje Tombani De Senye Mep Magyaba Magaba Tima Mepa Tima Dan Dawa Mep Dewa Mepa Kawa Mepa O Share Po Deda Tomba Yela Zume Zowa Me Duje Me Duje Name Namba Sheba Mime Nawa Me Name Cheme Dume Ime Zume Drame Jime Reja Me Cheme Migi Kam Meba Ne Yigi Kam Yigi Namba Shebe Kam Ge Batu Yame Mare Pame Mare Pa Zeba Meba Kashi Me Kashi Zebe Batu Ejendo doya wadan kunjo wadan koba da lame yeshime toba me matoba ya me share poteta wen janjo semba nam toba me be chir chera ge para de chemba denjin ne de sen la jeba me ji toba me ji lo le shin de ten Nyangen ne tebe tara jindu tusundu namba shube sangye tamje shirage paru du jimbala tene lana me yanda ba zobe janju du ngomba sangye deda wena shirage paru du jimbe nga grepa jimbe nga lana mebe nga menyam pada nyambe nga tungye tamje Shewa Jebena Mizun Bena Demba Sheba Jat Sheragi Pada Jimbe Nga Meba Tea Ta Kate Kate Paragate Sangate Poti Toha Jare Bu Chanjo Sam Samba Jembo Deta Sheragi Pada Chimba Zamu Laba Jau Dene Chomde Dinge Si Dede Jing Chanjo Semba Semba Chem Papa Chenesi, Wanshula, Leso, Chejawa, Chini, Leso, Rigid, Dedejino, Rigid, Dedejinde, Chida, Yugi, Tempa, Dejin, Sheragi, Padu, Chimba, Zamola, Cheba, Jat, Dejin, Japa, Nankan, Jesu, Jomden de Geje, God Selnin, Zedan Dampa, Shari, Tadibu, Janjo Zamba, Zamba, Jimbo, Papa, Chedis, Wanch, Kama Jedan, Dembe, Koro, Deda, Adam, Beda, Lamaida, Tisa, Jebe, Jide, Jomden de Gezomba, Langamba. De do kala jebe ne cho damba ne ngenje tsu tsu nga we tu to jen tu ba pola mai pushi ne zung cha se lo aka samara ja shadara samarya pe aga aga Akasama, Shadara Sama, Peteata, Gade, para, Sangate, Bodhi, So, Pa, Kuncho, Tsungi, Kai, Tempe, Dogi, Chi, Doba, Gyuji, Meba, Gyuji, Shewa, Dage, Baji, Me, Tumbi, Choring, and Batamje, Shinte, Kodoi, so gere tonra gechu shirvada mitu nubi kendan drawa tumba dujin bunsun to Gam dan doje jan jambu dango ya ma Yon zoi timbe nga da dungi li tu zini mu di je zun lama lo zon tu wan to ji chan jin bu ya ye ran jun na jo ma kan do zi ri ma rin bo je pe zan bu shen ai ni Boy Jimbu Zunju Zamu Leba Jue Yondo Shingam Ju Zabu Me Ao Wan Jen Segi Saji On Benza Riki Ao Ji chari go yuki go we usu ri gyabo ri rab shai babu lo zambu lin do balanchu chan daminyin ludan lupa ngaya tang ngaya jin yodin dalan choda ramin Ramin Yingenda Rimboje Jio Abazangi Shin Deje Yeba Mamu Bayeloto Olo Rimboje Nobu Rimboje Sumo Rimboje Lambo Rimboje Lambo Rimboje Dajo Rimboje Mabu Rimboje Dejemboye Bumba Ke Matem Medoma Dibima Nazema Dijama Yema Da Rinpoche Do Chole Namba Gyave Gyave Usula Dame Pajo Bunzun Sopa Masawa yang yin yi du wang wa de da de jin za wa dang yu ba je ba ba den la ma tam ba nam dang kia ba tu yang yong zo den be nga da den gi le du se ne me di je zu na ma lo zan to wan to je chan jembo Ranjo Najo Ma Kando Zere Ma Rimboje Bezambu Shengane Deba Jimba Zunju Zamu Leba Jue Yondo Shingamu Agyo Doje Drowe Dandu Jesu So Jene Ganda So Drowa Magyo Nange Dada Nyambe Senjin Tamje Tuzawa Jemba Gone Oh,
Sanjin Chedan Suji Chunala Shanjuba Dani Jasuji Aye Chichi Jebe Zona Jin Dola Pinji Sanjin Juba Sanjin Chedan Suji Chunala Shanjuba Dani Jasuji Dagi Chichi Jebe Zona Jin Dola Pinji Sanjin Juba Sanjin Chedan Suji Chunala Shanju Bardu Dani Jasu Dagi Chishi Jivi Tsunanji Dola Pinji Sanjin Juba Kangi Dozen Yuzumi Dawa Doji Bawi Tambe Chinen Tenjin Bego Tamde La Chazi Duni Ninja Zongdon Jubelan Chichi Sensi Kanjin Tenjanga Chana Bemo Dizin Jazo Sovan Deso Tui Minjo Mananga Danyambe Simjen Tamje Tobe Sanjin Jikongo Jumbo Jin Tobe Jin Tambe Chizombo De Nyamzu Lawan Chan Lasso Samalo Tashidele 다 제 넘버 다른 분이 배 되니 자전화라 배제 뭐지 생기 여사리 다 드린 아주 저차존 저데 되니 년중 장선 양탑에 따와 저지 다 출라 tum반다 텐데 가져오는 도나 야가면도
So you've come from far away, many different sanghas to this precious place, and so thank you for coming. And the main topic today that we will discuss will be renunciation and bodhicitta and the authentic view. So I don't know if we can talk about that.
다양 아주 가지고로 다양 남바사와 라다양 지 남바 믹세 멤버다 되니 제 남바 가시 요시바로 야 저자 가시지 지다잉하네 대두기 니치 곰 참라야 텐지카네 야스마스데스 주나 텐소
So perhaps there's some new Buddhist practitioners here. Perhaps there's some of us who aren't even Buddhist at all. And there's many different types of people here. And so I thought to give kind of a general presentation and, cover various topics here and there to meet with these different needs.
그래서 다들이 아주 참리 성도 참 님지
So this is technically a retreat. We're on here, supposed to be a 4-day retreat.
상아주 참 대야라 대당 라단 되니 지디 라단 아니 감매바 나초바서 와예자니 야 저샤 나초바한다 텐데 용기도
So this on a retreat, there's various different types and meanings of retreat, elaborate retreats and concise retreats, and based on our constitution, our character, our interest. So there's many different kinds of retreat.
다참 수용들 아니 콤비 지준다지 남진도 가서 아니 다 레가레 수수 저와 망부지기 토네 아니 내가 뭐 보여 인자는다 참 내가 뒤서 봤대 샤 되는지 튠라지 친 아니 가져오다 그 양본다 지야지 니친도 찍라 양은진지가 지기도
So retreat, I think, is a kind of a rare opportunity. We all have work, we all have busyness, and so one meaning of a retreat is to sort of set our work aside, to put our busyness aside, and to turn towards practice for a period of time. And in that spirit, it is one sense of retreat is to have a real sense of openness within us.
참 대학이 미기도 지글라 가서 카도 대하라나다 강인다 다 되는지 지 류셈라 대지 마지바다 마대와 여와 송장 니 다디 지 매바치야다 뇽으로 따야다 안디기 마지바다 소와 동인디 대지 자타고 마용한다 동인디 마음발라 매바져야 탑드라우타다 단당은 줄이 동네라 되는지게 스스 시대 가래 탑시 가래 이렇게 된다지로와.
So in terms of like the aim or the purpose of retreat, it's to reduce our problems, reduce our difficulties. So if we have unhappiness in our mind, then we try to diminish that. If we have a lack of joy in our mind, we're also trying to diminish that. And so we all have suffering. We all experience suffering. And so what we're trying to do is find methods and apply methods so that we don't have to suffer in the future. And so also we're finding and employing methods to find peace and happiness in the mind.
다 가서 년중 저러지 삼방권에 주바이나 아닌지 동해인바 다지 야보지 하마와이나 양 주진 카시 가서 추르 미기 통하기 동해 릭 대화의 릭 망보지 다 준제 남샤다 망보지 코르바 라야 디기나라 가서 대바 용서 저바 디나라 지 카르딘다고 민들바기 동해에서 디나라 카르딘다고 지 용거도와 코르바 카르세나다 디나라 냥완다고.
Oh, that's so. That's so. So particularly when we talk about the intention of renunciation, the mind of renunciation, so it's involves seeing that what suffering is, seeing suffering as suffering. And so if we don't have a good understanding of that, we need to look into what are the causes and conditions for our experience of suffering. There are many different kinds of happiness that we can experience, happiness, pleasure, and joy. There are many different kinds of suffering and difficulties we can also experience. And so we need to be able to understand the presentation of causality, of the cause and effect that makes samsara. And so there are things that we want, and things that we don't want. And because of those, we keep cycling in samsara.
대성장다 코르베게 대스 남자라 가서 문주를 뭐지 하고 그러와 kokkyur nisu ngane da ji ngaso gajin che desa dendi gi dongi jeyong tap jeyong wa de da korwa ningbo me ba thon la ya dang korwa jemba lo la ya gi ani tani tindido.
And so there's many things that we can see that are apparent about how this, how samsara is, about the suffering of samsara. There's also many things that are like hidden or concealed that are not apparent. And so, we all, here we are in this sort of joyful place, a place that can give us joy. And so, we have to contemplate suffering, contemplate how it arises, contemplate, that it doesn't really have deeper meaning. It doesn't really have a true essence. And so they're understanding these things and also reversing our grasping and our infatuation with the things that lead to suffering.
ngaso ngunjurbe gi zambaling gi nayam dizondo yena tangone ji tsela ngeba mewa tene hallebishi zambaling la kange nyokra ani ko ngunjurwa shena tsawozi lebarwa.
And then in terms of things we can clearly see, for example, we've just had a pandemic in the world, which shows that our lifespan is totally uncertain. The human lifespan is totally uncertain. So we face so many kinds of difficulties and sufferings.
라서 따든다 인디 당분 가서 가도 이나 쇼게 야 라네 근로 넘버 타바지 제거야 돼 개첨보 인사래.
Therefore, at all times, for example, when we wake up early in the morning, we need to generate a completely pure motivation.
값을 밥에 달에 참진 저자 인간에 되니 당분 가서 근로 넘버 타바지 마 검시 제나 야가면로.
And so here in this situation, on our retreat, then first and foremost, I think generating a completely pure motivation and then, habituating, familiarizing our mind with this completely pure motivation is the good way to go.
자, 그로 넘버 타와 라야디 되니 타이베 심제 탐제 동에 만들와 아니 서로와 아니 대화 되베 서로와 만나서 나지 지고 지장 여와 인장 아니 더 시제 만나는 메이지 로아지투 상말로와 동에 되고요 말아와 대화 되고요를 대상말로와 가서 그 숙조에 아니 자첨보 편바다 덴바 용수 저와 펜데 바지 되니지 셈제 마게 참로이 체들라 나저기 다리 아니 최 냠시 공주 체아 되네 공바지시 나라나.
So when we speak of a completely pure motivation, this involves bringing to mind totally limitless sentient beings without any limit. And so just like us, none of them want to suffer. Just like us, all of them want happiness, want to feel and experience happiness, just like us. So this is the case from the very pinnacle of samsara down to the lowest parts. All the 6 classes of beings are the same. in wanting happiness and in not wanting suffering. And so with whatever effort we can put, whatever power and effort we have to bring benefit and happiness, that's what it boils down to. Wishing to bring benefit and happiness to others, to take responsibility for others, benefit and happiness. So in all the activities we engage in here, listening to teachings, our own contemplation, our meditation, our practice, please develop that motivation in your minds. I ask you that.
다단 심전 탐지 로안 되바 대완 되장 대위 주 추겨와 주라 소베 주마시 동해 만되장 동해기 주 빵마시 라렌 친질로 롱아 탕지도 롱아 실로 가야 메시비 덴레기 동해 아니 남도이 지원나 주대와 참마 닝레제 공부지르나
So for oneself and others, all of us, we want to be happy, but we don't know how to accomplish the causes of happiness. All of us don't want to suffer, but we don't know how to give up the causes of suffering. This leads us to our intention and our action being in contradiction. We don't know how to relate to our teachers. We fall under the power of afflictive emotions, of kleshas. How sad a situation is this? So please bring that to mind.
까마카시 공부지르나
So please meditate on that for a few minutes.
나서 다리 다다이 디바침베 추 냠슬레네 안디 타이베 심젠 탐지 랑지 상물로 줄라 참닌지 찬주기 셈다 양다베 따와 친지 마로와 덴다시 줄라 제나 제 마루 대제비 체돌라 다리 응게 주된상모 참 야부스 때 심젠 탐지 랑지 참말로 산진지 공부를 무지 니값지 대화다 파추세와 썸 마인바 팔뚝 아니 찬죽 준비 공부를 토바지 자오 제도 내텀나지 마룬 거네 아니 심 야부지 끊어 슉 첨부지 제나로나
Nasana. And so now, please consider in the following way. Now we will practice this Dharma of the Mahayana, of the great vehicle. And so for myself and limitless sentient beings to generate love, loving kindness, bodhicitta, and the authentic view, so that all sentient beings could give rise to that. Love, bodhicitta, and the authentic view. How wonderful would that be? And so here we are on this retreat. And so bringing to mind all sentient beings and the nature of all sentient beings, wishing and aspiring for them not just to have temporary happiness, not just to clear away temporary obstacles, but actually to reach the final goal of complete omniscience, full realization of Buddhahood. May that happen. May I bring that about. How wonderful that would be. And so please give rise to a strong motivation in this way.
Ya la so tene tendegi kulon la tene tene ngaso dewu chachile shukchambo shu yowa inzani te chen koya te peke chimbo rendo.
And so generating this motivation, and the motivation determines what kind of result can come. So it's really necessary, if we want a result, to set a proper motivation.
Chirin ngaso tanjol nikawa tene chewa tendegi lutenzi tedere.
So in general, we have acquired this support of a human body with all the freedoms and advantages. This is something we have.
Deyang jibjin chewa chena ane je tanjol milurimbo chen layandi ane mi luten toba tsamgi ngaso je tanjol milurimbo chen layandi kale kawo rendoa talwa ji joba chu la soba de ji gomba jewa ina perazina sanje zambaling de chen dewa de jikwarawa rangjo nga da jinjo nga ji gomba jewa ina ta ji rangjo nga wangbo chang wa lu yu chu yu su jewa lokda malo wa wangbo chang wa tindi ge chachen zom dewa ji jinjur nga da warina sanjin chen dewa temba ne dewa ti jesun jugwa tuk zebe ngani nga sola ani tuk ji chakchuji zindewa tindi ge jorwa mambu zikta ye dewa yena yang rangla changda ma chang chebar shivuzidowa zambuling misaya mambu rendawa ina yang tindi ge cheba de kala khabuzi rendawa nane manda chebar yonggidowa.
So if we think about this in some detail, though, when we talk about the precious human form endowed with the freedoms and advantages, it's, just being born in a human body is not really enough for it to be considered the precious human form with the freedoms and advantages. Just having a human body isn't enough for that. We, in addition to a human birth, we need the 8 freedoms and the 10 advantages. So, for example, a Buddha has to appear in the world. We have the 5 advantages that come from one's own side and 5 that come from outside. So, for example, from our side, we have our faculties are intact or complete. We're born in a central region. We don't have wrong view towards the Buddha Dharma, and so on. So there's these various advantages that come from our side. And then from the outside, so to speak, there's also various ones, 5 of them. For example, the Buddha has appeared in the world. The followers of the Buddha remain, the teachings remain. One encounters supportive conditions such as love and protection and so on. So these is various external advantages as well. So if we think about this, many of these exist in the world and many people have them, but we have to look at ourselves and see, are they complete or are they not complete? And each individual person, any person may or may not have the freedoms and advantages complete in their full form. So then we think what it would take to meet with these conditions and what a big difference it makes to have them or not have them.
Lawa sanga su che jawa ina te Kunga marwa che che al nyewa yita lalo tsiri alo da kuba la so ba dinde nang la ma je ba tanda tambe tanjo ji lu to dinde ki ten zambo digi to ne ta ji chawa 북장 rimbo la pen toya 북장 rimbo la shiti tuya ki ene ta tab chebar jinji chi a tiyan jigdang chi goya
So then there's what are known as the 8 unfree states, 8 situations that lack freedom. So for example, being born as a being in the hell realms, or as a hungry ghost, or as an animal, and so on. Birth in the 3 lower realms of samsara, or being born in the long-lived God realm, one of those, or having wrong view, or being like lacking intelligence. And so there's a variety of situations in which one lacks those freedoms that are necessary. So then we can reflect on this, and if we've achieved the freedoms and advantages, and this excellent set of conditions, then what are we going to do with it? What kind of activity are we going to engage in? How are we going to then accomplish peace and happiness with these excellent conditions that we have? What kinds of methods are needed? We should think like that.
Dinde inzane tenjo nye ka tsela lon meba ila sande tsende nangje do sanen za chimbo je dani chimbo je dinde songdo tenjo nye ka wa tsela lon meba nye ka wa tenche wa tsela lon meba inza ane korba di ane chinangke nawa ta jimba 그래, 당연히 진다 올라서.
네.
이직선다. 괜찮으니까
So then,
찔러매봐.
mm,
로도 남지.
mm,
된지가.
lasso,
음.
lasso. So then, bringing to mind or contemplating in the way of the four mind changings, contemplating the benefits of the freedoms and advantages of a precious human life, considering that we don't have much time in life. Our lifespan is not one where there's unlimited time, and the wish to make it meaningful, to bring meaning in our life. So we can bring those thoughts to mind in the spirit of the four mind changings.
강다를 다 밀리자 첨보 시라비여서 시바여바 다 폐기 잡는 게 쉬자고. 맞아 밀리 시럽 된대와. 진도와.
So in any case, we have this this human form, and this human form contains intelligence. It contains insight within it.
다디 배주 땅이라.
In order to make use of this insight or intelligence,
다 제발 쉬어지도와. 송.
so then that's a very big difference.
찌라 나와 찌긴가라. 아니 시비 편조대 자 전부 징하네. 덴바르지 젬방아서 딱봐. 아니 주주 콤바. 매바 같이이나 로야디 아주 찌 톱샤지 전도 이거 여러와.
So from one point of view, our intelligence or native intelligence can be oriented outwardly towards the excellence of existence, of samsara, all the wonderful things that we can get, and how to get them under the power of grasping, under the power of concretizing or solidifying the things that we can see outwardly in the world. We concretize them, solidify them, make them important, grasp onto them as precious, and try to get something from them. So that's one way that our native intelligence can be used.
대화 제사대야 죽자치로 레차시 아니 zenyen대야 양 봉봉아이 다니 아니 공예시와 아니 딘데지기 셈 아니 시럽 임바 강지라 뇨모 쟁기 시럽게 아니 저르게여와.
So when we think about how we get satisfaction, what gives us happiness and pleasure, there is the sense objects, forms we can see, sounds, smells, tastes, textures, and sensations. And then there are within us the five aggregates and the five sense consciousnesses operating. And so we have to look into that.
되는 가서 대지제 라야게 넘바 로디 심상보 장보 아니 자첨보 송이 까블라 이 zugi ngo 계셔 드라이 ngo 계셔 티 ngo 계셔 딘디 직수 독도 진주야 계셔 레면도 다 가서 가서로 데스 직 출라오라 셈지 출당로디 데스 공바제나 가서 동에 서로가 동에 대화 라데 셰바 찍니 셰바 찍잉네 셰바 티딩니 동네 대화 라야 쳐봐스 쳐봐데 랑 용인디 젠디 죽tra 티로 렉샤라 젠 제바리데 이나양 쳐봐 코랑 땅진체나 쳐봐 코랑 레도와 젠디 젠 칼라 땅다 마당 라나 쳐봐 댕워시거든
Mhm.
대야
So if we think, what actually brings happiness? It is a good mind. It is an honest mind. It is a vast kind of mind that is good in the sense of virtuous, honest, vast. That kind of mind actually brings happiness. We can't get that kind of happiness from material form, from sounds, from tastes and smells and sensations. We can't extract that from those sense experiences. And so we have to look into this and see how confusion occurs. How are we confused? Something we need to think about and consider. And so there's the mind, there's some aspect of the mind or cognition, or consciousness suffers. It's the mind that experiences happiness and joy, the mind that suffers. So it seems as if the external condition makes us suffer or makes us happy. It seems that when we meet with a, visual form or sound or taste or smell or texture, that is what's making us suffer, or that's what's giving us happiness. But it's actually the feeling inside the mind that does that. And whether we cling to that feeling as mine or me. And so we have to see what the condition is that may be external, but then we have to recognize the element of feeling, of direct experience, where the suffering happens.
대인상 맞죠? 년중 제 라드 지 난기 심기 니츠 지당 아니 치기 최 죽잔자 마다 니츠 지기 토네 배 살보직 하고도 베라지나 다 시베 분조 뒤주는 가서 거야 시베 분조 네 레고 찍 수술라 톱샷이 통용도 셈데 가이 남준라우즈 알아 수술라 거기요나 베레 수술 잘라지 거기요나 수술 빼샤지 거기요나 수술 강바 거기요나 강다 수술 더바이 죽자 치료기 자와 가르치는데 찍 합디가 톱용도 그 초바디 가위 초반으로 지도 이나양 딱바가 되기 말와 땐지 초바 톱사디 톱용도 갈래라 양 초바디 줄네 가사 되가랑라 그양 뚝뚝도 대송자 nga 저기 삼노 야보 쓰다바이나 그니기 톱차보 남주 깔래 잡자체보 진데서 찍 뭐찍라 야보 삼노 단데 어디 동네 랑지ren도와 갈래라 약슈레미도 디 동네 랑지레샤 제네 데라 찍심나라 동네 데라 마가이 닌중 데란 더바메바 chani 통용도 되니 자진 됐도 아니 디 동해야 통 대윤도 동해 돈도기 로지야 랩 되니 아 초진이 된지 차기도 와 초진이 다들 대화 톱자이가 딱 빠띠 토고요 되나 양 주치기 때문에 톱자 대가라는 게 더바지 얘기도 와 가진지 더바 네 냠돌라 세당 장용도 와 더차 장용도 와 아니 대갑도 낙셈 느셈 록다 차도 참로와 디초네 페리용도 와 태송장 디 페리용도 소수기 철와 대와 매바 찬적으로 와 소바 대와디 매바 마체 고라 동행기 몰라 남상 수수심 좀 가르치 조지는 줌돼야 곰자는 제야 매와 심 줌돼야 아니 랑소 냠로야기 줌야 이릭 마무지 도와
That's So when we talk about generating renunciation, there's two aspects we can consider. One involves the mind inside, and the other side is like the phenomena outside, so to speak. So we need to clearly understand these two dimensions. So, for example, when we think about the, like the excellence in samsara, the excellence, the wonderful things that can be had in the world. If we look at that as something always to get, something we want to get from that. And when we get it, the mind will be happy. I will be happy when I get that thing. Whatever it is, maybe it's a material thing, an object. Maybe it's money or wealth. Maybe it's a house, whatever it might be, whatever we wish for, whatever we want. And so whatever kind of thing it is, maybe it's a form, a sound, a smell, and so on. And so let's just say we suddenly get it. Let's say we acquire the object of our wish. Then we immediately have like a satisfied, pleasant, pleasurable feeling, don't we? When we get what we want. But that feeling doesn't last. It's not always there, because once we get it, it starts to change, and it keeps changing, and slowly it turns into suffering. It turns into dissatisfaction or unhappiness. And so we have to then, we can see then that what we think is so good has the nature of suffering. And so what we are clinging onto something as the best, that's the best thing. We have to know that, oh, that thing is suffering. That thing will bring suffering. We have to also know that when we're clinging to something as the best, so good. So we put so much effort, into getting all these things. But if we put a lot of effort into this contemplation and generating this kind of renunciation, then we can start to see what suffering is, and actually generate a mind of renunciation towards it, a mind that doesn't wish for so much, doesn't wish for things that will bring suffering. So that's sort of one side. There's also another side, another angle. And so the other angle, maybe we think, okay, pleasure, happiness, pleasure. I need that. I want it always. I want it all the time. But then, when we look at the causes and conditions for how it actually works, when the conditions change for what we think is pleasure and happiness, then what happens? Then, if we have the mind that wants pleasure all the time in that kind of way, then what happens in the mind, the condition that's produced, is a mind that wishes for things, that wants, the mind that wants. And what happens when we have a mind that wants and wishes? We have desire. When we have desire, we have aversion. And we also get animosity, ill will, and all kinds of other things. All of those increase when we have a mind that's full of wants and wishes. And so, we won't get then an experience of satisfaction from that, a real experience of happiness from that. Not only will we not get that, but all of samsara has this nature of suffering. And, we can also get discouraged. We can get discouraged or even depressed, when we don't get what we want, and when what we try to get and think will bring happiness ends up bringing us suffering. We get discouraged. We can't meditate sometimes. It's like our path starts to degenerate. So there's many different kinds of ways to get discouraged.
강다를 저기 시랍 라야지 동반이 자치슈대다 되는지 chanjuki sim zangbo 라야디 가진 제바레마도 디 칸드직라 sim zangbo 치고레 디 가서 람사nhập 두기면도 주두기면도.
So this prajna, intelligence or insight that we have, so the best possible application of prajna or insight is towards emptiness. It's towards bodhicitta, the altruistic mind of enlightenment. Or we could also just say a virtuous mind. And so we may be able to think, oh, that's good. Those things are good. It would be nice to have those things. But how to actually generate those mind states, how to do it, it's like we can't quite do that.
Yeah, 다이나 당봉가서 가서 류대 째주지 제고스 남준도 내가 짠장 텔라 춥추 제대니 대박 망보 지당 내가 망보 차지 망보 뛴데니 류대 아니 간다 진도 샘데 간다 진도 칼레가 지 갑도 저당이 뉴뉴쇼.
That's so. So in any case, first of all, we can examine the body. The body is something we're using all the time. We're experiencing with our body all the time, engaging in so many activities, our work, our movement, our activity. It all, we use our body for that. So first, we'll look into how the body is, how the mind is.
Ka nga laya chik dua.
There's this sense of self, isn't it?
Kom narana.
So please meditate together.
Rangi zimba ki ngane tena. Sonanda.
So if you look into your own clinging,
Nga din dua chen chik. Doktor rao. Chik na wan chik shaki dua.
it seems there's a perception, an experience that something is here. There's some kind of like lump, something that is there, isn't it?
Yangjar nga di kawandu ngi lui kang. Sonanda.
Lu kawadu.
Mm.
So then,
Mare nga. Nga di lui kang la kawadu.
so this sense of self, where is it in the body?
Nga laya di ngi lakwa di nga re mendo.
This sense of self, it's not my arm, is it?
Kang ba ladu nga re mendo.
My legs, that's not me, is it?
Go la yundu nga re mendo.
The head, my head, that's not the self, is it?
De na jin chashi re re kang la nga tse ba ina. Nga mendo.
Like that, if we look through all the different parts, we don't find the self, isn't it?
Ta chashi titso te yang. Chashi yang.
The parts also.
Sha pakpa. Tambu pakpa tene sha. Tene za jupa ruku. Gang. Art. Ready?
First, we look into the parts of the body. There's the skin, and we have flesh, and we have nerves, and we have intestines, bones, sinews.
Tegi na la nga tse na nye mendo.
So if we look into those things, looking for the self, we don't find it.
Tangi uk tegi na. Uk ya ngup ma tang. Ya ngup ma tang du. Up yang nga re mendo. Uk te nga ina nga mambu chan ro sarwa.
Also, we can examine the breath. So we breathe in, we breathe out, we breathe in, we breathe out, it's also not a self there, is it? If it was a self, we would have many selves.
덴데기 수보디 친한 게 차시다. 아니 자틱 룽라 소불라 따나 수수게 착사 옌사 자참보 진사 가사 양 야고 지 치타 수술을 때나 양 용서 말아봐.
So all the different parts of the body, the outer parts of the body, the physical body, the inner parts of the body, the prana, nadi, and bindu, the subtle body, all those different parts. This thing that we cling to as so precious, so important as me. It's not really like that, is it? Can't really find it.
태양 입 카도 두 차라 진인직 룽게 ngో라 얄레 시기요 대완자 그 대완자 매바 마임바 용규치 대와 예바 마임바 데니 들 차라니 식조위 랑신식 라테나 대비장 하장기 ngala 차고야다 하장기 ngala 아니 가고야다 직 나디 독아 테니 mikpa chesegi tarso thembegi yuji mazo ragi medwa
And so when we look at all these subtle and coarse parts, then there's, it's not that there's nothing there. It's not just a nothingness, an absence, because something's moving. There's movement, prana, energy is moving somehow. There's not nothing. We also can't say that it truly exists, because if we analyze it into its subtlest particles, which is its actual nature, we don't find anything. And so this sense of self that I'm so attached to, that I give so much importance to, some kind of object that I'm fixated on, we can't really find it.
텔라 까만 주서 세주치니 검접다 제검세 제 뭐이니지
So please, let's practice for 10 minutes analytic meditation, this process of inquiry, examining the body as I've described. So please meditate like that.
검 제비 까블라 수고티데스 틀르자
When you're meditating, please just keep your body relaxed.
아 때 수고라 제발 마보도아 데네 덴데스샤나 람산이 용그래
The body has, there's many key points of the body. So if we kind of slump our body, slump our head forward, then we'll feel sleepy almost right away.
디 저걸 뎁시잠 되나 니 용그러와
And we collapse the integrity of our, core, then we feel like sleepiness.
데네 깨라 대지자는 근데 제나 니용 그래.
And
좋아.
also, if we, let our neck be lose its integrity and we kind of slump our head back, we also get kind of dull.
아주 더 고민가로 당부디 지와디 까야디 기침으로.
So first, when we first start meditating, it's important to, prevent this dullness.
되니 밑에 좀나 지 제바 지야다 때지 루루라 약보 여비 라오지 여리데 이나양 디 지와 티야지 야 주제 망아지데 그래.
And if we keep our eyes closed, it does kind of help bring the mind kind of together and helps this process of analytic meditation or inquiring, investigating. However, it also creates a condition for drowsiness or dullness.
아니 단 남주 가서 취해나라 남나 취되 라소바 티기래 베제 chen ba manchiala tiyeje.
Within the Dharma teachings, we have teachings about this. For example, the 7-point posture of Varochana. So I think most of you have received instructions on that.
Then 소고디 깨바디 바데 덴데 제와이나 양 룽기 용야라 대양 되게 나야당 양 깨바 나야당 뭐지 용거도와 야 바데 덴데 제잖아 그 덴데 다시 강들 수고 랑법 참마 랑법 세미양 랑법 나라 대제주체나 서버 시대 가는 제주치토그라.
If we sit with, a very tight, rigid spine, we sit up too straight, too much tightness, then it disturbs our prana, our energy, and we can get pain, in the upper parts of the body. We can get pain in the back also after a little while. So we also shouldn't be so tight and rigid with the back. But just as Khandro-la was demonstrating, we should be rest in a very naturally settled way. If the body is completely natural, settled in its own way, the mind also is settled naturally in its own way, then we can conduct our investigation in a very clear and proper way.
야, 다 공전하라는
So now please meditate.
제주친 다리 지 제검데 수고라 nga 라이디 카완두 제검전.
So particularly meditate in the sense of analytic meditation, investigating into this body. Where is this sense of self? Where is my sense of self in the body? Please meditate on that.
냐나서 되니 땅에서 남준드네 콤바테 템발라 키치모도아 음디테라 키치모도 남준드
Awesome. So it's very important to do this meditation, like ongoingly.
땅아주 짐바디 카레 안다 니 니당딘딘도아
So how is our grasping? What is our grasping like? Because that's our situation now, isn't it?
단덴데기 지 둘차라 지니 지강 아니 nga layaji dokto zindewa sharu dochi pungbo nyomoji ani jiwanji rama ba pangyanjo pangde zirwa pangjonde lenyeji 제발린 된jonde 아니 오늘 지 코랑기 나와 가져오르다 네발라 된디스도와 당아서 낭수라 카레요리 남상 삼스당
So, so it's like the underlying reality is just coarse and subtle particles. But somehow within that, we cling as if there's some kind of solid thing, some kind of lump there within that we cling to as our sense of identity. But its nature is just these subtle and coarse particles. And so we have to look into, and then this body that appears, this body is just the result is just like a karmic result of prior karma and klesha and afflictive emotions. It's like a compounded phenomena that results from those things. And so we have to look into it in this way, how things actually are, the underlying reality, and we have to look into how we perceive them, what our perception is, and what the truth is.
땅아서 여당로데 아니 강다르 샤르 드시 풍보 아니 베테 데야 코랑 참모간에 되니지 요와점 들 진이지 대양양 식도야지 그 니지 되니지 도와
So if we look at, what is there, the side that is there, we have, flesh and blood and bones and skin and organs and so on. But then we look more and more into that, subtler and subtler. We get to just like very vibratory particles. And then we keep going, and even that falls away. Even those basic vibrating particles are destroyed. We can't find those. So that, is the compounded body. That's the compounded phenomena that we acquire based on karma and afflictive emotions.
근데 여당데 콜레라오 하고기도
That reality, that existence described in that way is quite straightforward to understand.
되네 참모간에 매당데야 하고기도
And then we go subtler and subtler into that, and we can start to see the way that it does not exist, the way that these things do not exist also.
가르치는 세는다 띵중기 저완님 바델라 띵중기 안에 여당제당 디 띵중 니승 안에 다 띵중 인장 대로 띵중대 참으신도 참으네 차시 두체 진이 니승 안에 로잖아 안에 코라인 랑진데 안에 치 ngaso 두 죽다치 라야디야 코란게 랑진시 타뚝 타뚝 조데 ngane ngaso ko rangji shik joya dang la joya re do wa
Because we can look into dependent origination, the interdependence, how everything is just dependent on something else. And so that shows us how things appear, how they also don't exist. And so we look into that very, very subtle interdependence. And it's like the nature of our experience, visual objects, sounds, smells, tastes, sensations. We look and look and look into the subtlest element of them, and then they kind of fall apart. They fall away. There's nothing fundamentally there at the end of our looking.
끼찍 줄바테와 니 순간에 야 째용이야 마 직조야 근데 니 순간에 니 수직간에 야호시 따용들 아니 짐바 나란 자차고 짐바다 젬바다 착바 제데 알레 따다랑 메도 tenji 랑지 마 같이 있는 걸 차고 같이 있는 걸 제를 좋아지 리로.
So there's this just momentary change, momentary impermanence. Every moment things are appearing. Every moment things are vanishing. So within that momentary impermanence, then we have this clinging, this grasping onto the sense of self, me, mine. And so then we start to ask, why? Why are we clinging onto this sense of self, clinging onto it, attached to it, holding onto it within this constant momentary change of everything? So the question then comes, why am I clinging like this?
야 딘데기 알아야디 지 니 죽불라야디 마모지라 따와리 여당디 서로바지 너네 마 여다요 마티 두아tin 서로바기 양 무슨 동기도와 그나디 아니 나타다 깨지시기도 민두와 나이 통소 누가 나이 통소 나도 민두 닝기 통이지 로지당 디 서로 냥이지 도와
Also, when we feel the sense of self, the sense of a self, and we look into the body, it's somehow there's something there, there's something here. The body also there's an experience that we have of the body. It's there's feeling, there's experience when we look also at the body. And through that feeling or experience, there's like, yeah, but I'm here. There's something here. I feel like I'm here. there's also that perception also comes that is like a direct experience that we have also. I'm here. So then, you know, we can look into that. Is that there? Is it not there? You know, is it possible that there can be a mind state that understands how it's there and not there at the same time? And while having that experience and have the felt experience of that at the same time. Is that possible?
대성장 대바로 되니 nga 동에 만들바다 nga 대완데 서로 대와 동에 라야디 아니 수부티 레민도라네 셈 라야지 양지 수부티 차시 레레칼라 레민도 아니 다셈 라네 셰바지 칼라 누구도와 셰바지기 뭐네 아니 오가 데레 메리타 셰바디에 진당디 아 라나 람삼 똑똑지 똑똑 지 남진 베르즈나 nga 라나 치 가르주고다 지 템본다 똑똑다 다지 띵중이 참 마음부지를 주진다 되대와 지레 마템바지네 지 수수수 랑가와 랑지와 아니 지 잼바르와 지 징기도와
So within all of that, we don't want to suffer. We want to be happy. And we have these continuing experiences of pleasure and pain, happiness and suffering. So even if we conclude that the self is not the body, that once we divide up the body into all these different parts, we can't find it, the self is not there, then still remains is the mind. The mind has, you know, there's some kind of cognition, there's some kind of consciousness. So then we have to go into that. So, you know, in this kind of cognition or consciousness that we have, we might think, the mind is this, or maybe, the self is this, or maybe we think the self is not that. But within the way we cling, if we look at how we cling, so we cling to the self as being like a whole somehow, a whole thing, some kind of lump, some kind of whole entity or thing. And we think I, the self, is somehow stable. It's somehow like a lasting thing that remains. Some kind of lump that's there. We don't think about subtle dependent origination, about subtle interdependence, how everything is completely reliant on other causes and conditions. We don't think like that. We think somehow that I am an independent thing, the self, and we cling to it like that.
디 니수잉아니 시럽 저르제이나 뉴몬지 시럽 마도 코페 시럽 피도 중한데 배주 당시기면도 뉴몬지 시럽.
So within this context, you know, we have a certain kind of prajna, a certain kind of intelligence. But in this context, our intelligence is mixed with klesha. It's mixed with afflictive emotions. We cannot generate the most excellent kind of prajna.
다 녀모기 시럽디기 남도 티용거로 남도.
And this intelligence, mixed with our afflictive emotions, generates all kinds of thoughts.
남도 디기 안에 야 메시 동에 숙청부 조도와.
And these thoughts that we have causes so much suffering.
다 오늘 치기 가져로다 지 튠진 릭드서 짜침보다래 디 남도래 디 고흐마레 세고마레 난기 주보대양 세미나다 지 주보이나다 디 고흐마레 디 육쇼 세고마레 디 뭐니지 가래 치 뭐니지 가래 튠진 짜침보디 가래 아니 디 용당디 가래 딘디 삼 땅와이나 가츠기 뒤준도 셈제지 시럽 배주 땅양디 묘모 쟁기 시럽 몽데야 디짬마도 시럽 텔리 자체자 텔리 띵잡아 뭐 뉴스칼라 도난 지고요 말아봐.
So, of course, we need supportive, conducive outer conditions. We need outer circumstances. We need to create beneficial, conducive outer circumstances. So we're not saying that we should completely forget about that or ignore that. That's not what's being said. Also, even though we're looking into the nature of the body and the mind, we're not saying that, therefore, we have no need for a body or a mind. That's also not what's being said. Therefore, we should just give up, abandon the body and the mind. That's not what's being said here. What's being said is we have to come to see what the actual reality is, what the true underlying condition, the nature actually is. What is the nature of outer phenomena? What is their underlying reality? What are the nature of conducive conditions, beneficial circumstances? What are the nature of that? How do those come about? And so, generally, ordinary sentient beings, always their intelligence is mixed and caught up with klesha, with afflictive emotions. And so there's a certain kind of like dark ignorance involved. And so we're not giving interest, we're not giving attention to a different kind of prajna, a different kind of insight that's like opens very wide, opening our insight or our prajna. That a kind of prajna that is not mixed with afflictive emotions. And so we're not really giving attention or interest to that.
제상 아주 류딘디 배주 제단기 짐베하지 로단기 니중안에 아주 간스 춘로에메 아니 대화 되고요나 아주 대화 말아봐대 칸지는 아주 제대로요 봐 아니 동에 만들어봐이나 동에디 매번 만들어봐대 가르치는 아주라 딱봐 동이 양자를 칸지스 연구요면디 아주 이게 니리 초하다 류데 배추 땅을 왕네 짐바당 아니 젬바다 냠도 트레네 지 칼레라 아주 졸링지 치고스 데 제바이나 아주 칼레 수수기 쌤 야wo the sam no tang ba ina deni perajin tang azu 아 텐디지 류당 쌤 라야디 쌤디 서로 아직마도 나저 입 가도 통금에 놓아
That's all. So then we can also reflect this physical support we have, the body that we rely on. How are we using it? How are we employing it? How are we engaging with it? What kind of clinging is involved with the way that we use our physical body? How is confusion functioning? And so we have to look into that. So all of us, we want to be happy. We want joy. But somehow we don't get it. We never quite get the kind of happiness and joy that we want. Why? How is it that we don't get it? Why aren't we getting it? Suffering. We don't want to suffer. Why do we continually keep suffering? So we look into the body and slowly examine the body and the feelings, the felt experience, how we are clinging, how we are grasping to our body and our feelings. And so, and slowly, carefully look into this. So, for example, we have the body and the mind. The mind, actually, when we look into it, it's only like an experience. It's only just a feeling or an experience. The mind has no shape and no color.
아니 서로 대화 여바다 동해 여바디 다 스미바 마도 jen 디시체사키 여마르바
And the felt experience of happiness and suffering, pleasure and pain only occurs in the mind. It doesn't occur anywhere else.
아 딘디 쌤 동해 만데바 대반데바지 시럽 디다 뉴몬지 로다잉가니야 디시체긴다 뉴모 다 냠도 로다잉간 주당
True. That's so. So this mind that does not want to suffer, this mind that wants joy and happiness. And so how is our native intelligence, the one that's mixed with klesha, afflictive emotions, how is it confused? How does confusion work? I want to discuss that.
때니 수고데 샤리 두시지 풍부 다리 캔 사모즈도아
So this body, which is like just an aggregate, a heap, a compounded sankhara, a compounded heap. It's pretty strange, isn't it?
니 성적 제할라
In order to protect it,
아니 가서 튠지 맘부지 거기도아
we need so many beneficial conditions, don't we?
때니 칼라사 또기도나 칼라사
When we're hungry, we need to eat food.
아니 차나 둘루큰
And we feel cold, we need to put on clothes.
아니 signa dhara 아니 짱마 용야라 아니 직수부서다 써야다 지겨러와
And then we need all kinds of things to clean our bodies also.
대 예사야고
We need a nice bed,
칼라야고
good food,
대사야고
a nice home,
때니 빼샤 여와
and we need some money.
뒤에 거기도
We need that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
아니 딜을 때내야 쑥 드라만다 통야.
And then we also need beautiful things to
아니
look at and sounds and smells
아니 단드라만다 론줘야.
and all kinds of lovely sounds to enjoy
티 드라만다 론줘야. 때
And-
그거를 주보를 참은 그거를.
and nice smells to enjoy too. The body needs all of these things.
아 대수 찍 많잖아. 야? 내가 제차래.
But as soon as even one of those things is slightly too much, the happiness is gone.
야, 나 대수 딱. 야, 딱 가서 출발이. 증거를 증거를 이제 밀린데 안에 가서로 전달된 바 시럽 싸치모 줘야 치더라 뭐지 뒤송접 치고도
So, this body, all kinds of that we hold to with so much confusion. This body that can also be the base of prajna, insight, wisdom. We have to take care of it too.
나 주만 답이 중고디 실라 치가 패
So then this illusory body, we have to take care of it, and these illusory teachings. So then we need to also go eat. So
된 사찬에 아니가 가서 주디 양 거기 섭다 하리 삼노데 카리스 tru기도 자주 제거
so then when we come back, we'll keep examining how this works, how our confusion works. We'll keep looking into that.
강다르 디즈디 지 카친 자레즈리 라이나 공바 마체스 디즈 내가 차고도 가서 갈래 디즈 참아 하거나 아니 가서 이 인중제라 아니 거지 차지 망보지 요래다 그러봐 코르바 동네 랑지 통발라 대화 진대 진당다 진당 응게다 디즈 야고 하거나 아니 가서 강에 참마 시럽 nanga naji jik pechu tangna ngaso ka sama seto gure di trolling kale zo.
So you might be wondering why I've kind of jumped a little bit all over the place, why we didn't just do guided meditation the whole time or something. But it's very important to understand the causes and conditions, to create the right conditions for renunciation to arise. If renunciation can really arise based on clear understanding and reasoning, then it's like any problem, any difficulty, we can easily clear it away. It's like our wisdom mind can open, our insight can open. And so there's really great importance on that. So we'll keep discussing this.
Chanju simjo rimbo je maje bona jeju ji dewa nyamba meba ya kone kondo peba shu jambe mbawe
Jita Kemba Da
Kunga sambo
Deyan Dejinte
Keda
Gengi Jesu Dana Jin
Kewan deta tamje rabdo Tuzan shi
Shebe
Kewan
Gyan
tamje je Owa
Kala Soto
Dajin gewe
Zawa
zawa
Dikun Gyan Zambo Juji Rabdu Ringi Zaji Bagi Ju
Dajin bedo dra Rira bije nyende kemba Sanjin jindo mite bari Jogen manda jina jawa Noro rena mendo la vande andaya
Hi there.